I think we're back. Okay, I hope it's fixed. Why can't it ever be easy? I hope it's fixed. Why can't it ever be easy? Okay, I think I'm back. Welcome. Thank you, Tiz. Um, I actually wouldn't have a problem if you put Magneto on a Shatterpoint board. It might make it more of an look. Listen, it's not technology. For some reason, my audio keeps cutting out. I don't know why. I noticed that it disconnected right before that audio stopped. So I think I think I'm gonna recognize when that happens again. I think if I disconnect, it drops the audio. I think is what happens. So hopefully that doesn't happen. It's got to happen at least once a stream. I think it's required. You know how it is. You know how it is, guys. On the streets. It is so much terrain from. It's very true. Does each level count as like a separate piece of terrain you can throw? Hmm? That's a. I saw Lindsay in there. Hi, Lindsay. If you're still here, I might have lost you when we did the thing. Hi, Lindsay. 50 stream streak. Gosh dang, that's impressive. Hi. We are running Marvel Crisis Protocol Salt Lake. Yeah, that's right. The Salt Lake GT is in August. That's coming up. Make sure you guys go to that. I never know when I'm gonna go to these things. I might go to that. That's a drive. Salt Lake events are fun, but I like hanging out with Tim, so it's always worth the drive personally. Anyway, you guys are getting me distracted. So the WARCROW models. WARCROW is like a Warhammer. Well, it's not a Warhammer fantasy. That's not a fair thing to say. It's a fantasy game with a lot of like Tolkien. There's a lot of like Tolkien tropes in it, but it's very much like its own universe. The models are, I guess, in a way, they're kind of like MCP sized. I actually have a MCP model here. They're kind of like MCP-ish, because I think MCP is, it's like 32 millimeter scale or something like that. This is not too far off, because like when you compare it to an Infinity model, which I always just have sitting around because that's how my life is these days. And these are a little older, so the older ones are a lot smaller, but the models are way bigger. It's definitely a Shatterpoint to, I'm sorry, it's like an MCP to a Shatterpoint kind of situation where the models are just so much bigger. I think it looks good. I actually am a big fan of this. So this is the Elf Mage. That's an Ember Sig. The starter box comes with 1 unit and 3 characters each. Each side has at least 1 caster. I think that's right. This is Wisemane. He looks very... So the orcs in this game are very, very World of Warcraft inspired. They're very like big and bulky, and they have the head forward thing. When I saw this model, I was like, this is straight up... This is Gul'dan, if I've ever seen one. But he's not like... he's like a... I think he's a shaman. He's not like a warlock. But as soon as I saw this model, I was like, this is straight up Gul'dan from World of Warcraft. Which is cool. That's a really cool model. The leader of the Skin Changer people, this is the pre-order bonus. So if you're interested in getting this guy, I believe this model only comes out on the pre-order. And I played against them, and this guy ruins faces. This guy's really good. Really good. He is a leader of the Varank, which are like werewolf, Nordic, like skin changer, blue-skinned people. He's supposed to be like the chieftain of them, which is saying something. So he's like a combat monster. He's very, very good. Like I said, I fought against him, and he almost ruined me. I had a pretty solid win going, and this guy almost single-handedly spun it around. But the guy I was playing against he was great. I love Dakota. He's a great guy. And then this is the leader. Very kind of like hell screamy in a way. Because he has like those really big like tusky shoulder blade things. Or when he was alive, I guess.
Wow.
I think he's dead in the universe now. But the models are really good. They're all Psyocast. They actually went together really well. Surprise! I am a consummate hobbyer, but I despise building models. I always have, always will. But these guys were actually super easy to build. Each model, even the smaller ones, I didn't bring any of the humans over here, but even like the littler guys, the little army men that are like him, because like look at the size difference between these guys. He's friggin' huge. Look at him. It's huge. And even the smaller models, which historically are always a little rougher, because the smaller model is, the more pieces it usually is for some paradoxical reason. They were not hard. So every model is generally speaking about 2 to 3, like 3, 4, 5 pieces. They're great. I'm a huge fan. So really, really digging the model so far. I could say that honestly because technically this stream's not sponsored. I just happened to get a hold of them because the people at CB are great. And yeah, there you go. So we're going to be painting these for probably like the next month, give or take. The game comes out August 15th, and the pre-orders go up the first day of Gen Con, which I believe is August 1st or July 31st, depending on what day they want to do it on. Because they might do it like the day before Gen Con, because sometimes companies do that, but it'll be right around there. Hashtag not sponsored, absolutely. I don't think I'm sponsored. I mean, if I am sponsored, I didn't get anything out of it. So just put it out. I just got access to it early. I still had to pay for it. So it wasn't really a sponsor per se. But I love CB. They're absolutely great. And I'm super happy they gave me permission to do the streams for it. So just to kind of give you the quick lowdown, the way I did the basing was if it was a leader or an officer, I put it on Cork. So all these are heroes. I didn't bring over the unit leaders. I'll do that tomorrow. But I put it on Cork so they're easy to recognize. The game... I'm shilling real hard. That's true. CB, please. Feed me. Feed me, CB, please. Feed me. But the game itself plays a lot like Legion. There's like a lot of similarities to Legion. There's a little bit of Shatterpoint in it, actually. And the movement is very MCP-ish. So, like, I have some guests for Iraq. Ooh, that's fun. I love that. Tell me about that later. Ooh. Or just tell me on here. I don't care. Arachne is... You know what? Guys, you know what? I'll announce it on here. I haven't announced it on the actual thing yet, but I went to an Infinity event this weekend. And I did okay. I'm still terrible at the game, no matter how much I try. And Nuds, who is absolutely one of my favorite people, he is a fan of the show. I call him Prime. I call him Arachnid Prime. He wants to do some 3D printing stuff, and I asked him if he would do something that we could do a drawing for the patrons, and he gave me this. Look at this. That is awesome! So this is a token... This is an order holder for Infinity. You won't need this for WARCROW, but for Arachne itself, this is what they call cross-pollinations, ladies and gentlemen. The game, if you've never played Infinity, has this like order system where each model gives you an order, and what it does is you can slide this down, and it gives you all of the orders you can use, and you can keep track of the order groups. You can keep track of impetuous and irregular orders, and you can keep track of your command tokens. It's rad. This is super, super cool. I used it for the event. I almost said that I was not going to let go of it for a drawing, But then I realized might be a lot more fun if I actually play with it until the drawing itself, and then whoever gets it will get all of my bad luck, and maybe a higher power in the world will actually like me. I doubt that'll ever happen, but here we are. So the way it works is you can actually push down on this thing, and it'll like pick it up. So you can, as you use your orders, you can flip them face down. That's rad. How simple that is. And he also makes other layers to it, so you can take your tokens for the game, so like prone tokens and all that, and you can like put it underneath it, and the magnet system will hold it all together. So these are not for sale yet. I know he makes them. I can autograph. That's a really good idea. I'll just give it a little autograph right there. I was thinking about restarting the painting gallery with no name, Infinity style, and do it for my show as opposed to doing it for somebody else, like a sucker. I'm just kidding. I love those guys. But and then maybe have the winner win something like this. But I think for now we will do a drawing for the patrons. So if you are a patron to Arachne, which is the digital nomad tier of the PCN, you could get this. You might have to help me with shipping if it's outside of the country. Like, I know Quinn is a patron, and I'm not shipping this to Australia. It's not happening. It ain't happening. It's going to cost me $500 to ship them this tiny little thing. So that's fun. Anyway, so that was a side tangent. But that is something. So Arachne goes on. We're going to keep trying to make it better. So what else has been going on? I've been painting Lord Cooper. I was hoping to finish him today, but I got really close. But I wasn't able to quite finish him. I got most of it. I was going to do non-metal metallic for his arms. And, well, thank you. To Australia? I mean, if it's going to you, yeah, you can pay shipping. I'd really appreciate that, especially these days. But I got to figure out when we're going to do the drawing. It'll probably be maybe 6 months or maybe quarterly. I got to say, I got to talk to Nuds about it. But so this is Lord Cooper. We were painting his dogs last week, I think, and he's coming along pretty good. He's supposed to be a hunter for the Explorer Society. The model is coming out very, very well, in my opinion. But he's not quite done. I gotta finish the non-metal metallic. Oh, thank you, Tizzy. I was absolutely thank you very much. We'll talk about it later. Does WARCROW have Ajax or Achilles? Not right now, it doesn't. Who knows, though? CB's prone to take inspiration from a lot of things. But anyway, yeah. So this guy's getting close to being done, which is really cool. I'm really excited. I actually, Senor Diablo is here. Wilmar, one of my best friends of all time. We play a lot of Mal. Well, I say a lot of Malifaux. We've been playing Malifaux very consistently, and I've been playing Lord Cooper. He's actually a lot of fun. I'm actually kind of shocked at how much I liked him. He's very like one-dimensional. He's like, I point big gun. I point big gun. I pull trigger. Go boom. He can only shoot it twice a turn though, and it requires a little setup. So he's not like point and click. He's not a guild master per se, but he's pretty close. But he's coming along pretty well. I think his shorts might be a little too green, but that's fine. I think he's coming along really well. I think this jade color is going to be kind of like a consistent thing throughout the Apex keyword. I think I'm going to put it on like pants and stuff. Just an easy 7 damage, baby. You flip that red Joker, that's 8 damage, boy. 8 damage. I love 8 damage, Charlie. I love damage. I love kids. Okay. So we're going to clean this sucker. This sheet's a little overworked. I'm not gonna do the whip session today. You guys are not allowed to whip it out today. I don't have enough time today. Sorry. We will do it tomorrow. I will be here normal time tomorrow, but today, since I've already yapped away like an entire hour. We're gonna wait on that. I'm gonna wash this after we're done today. So don't panic. Don't panic. I can't say that. I can't say what? Oh, you can't. Oh, you can't. Charlie, don't say that. That show is so good. Desmond! Oh, what are you gonna do there, buddy? Oh, I was, thinking of shooting myself or something. Getting in trouble is enough for a week. That's true. Also, the guy that voices Desmond in the first episode of Smiling Friends is Mike. Oh God, what is his last name? I love kids. I love kids. Mike. I want to say it's not. It's not the guy from Monsters Incorporated. I'm watching you, Lebowski. Always watching. It's Mike. I can't remember his name. He's the Mike from Red Letter Media, which is one of my favorite YouTube channels of all time. I love that. I love that channel so much. I was gonna shoot myself or something. Absolutely gem. If you guys have not watched Smiling Friends, I thought it sounded like the stupidest thing on the earth, and Kara hated it because it was really good. So I loved it. I wasn't a big fan of the last episode of the first season. I thought that one was kind of dumb. That one I thought was kind of dumb. But I haven't watched any of the second season yet because I want to wait for the whole thing to be out before I watch it because I know I'm going to binge it like crazy. Anyway, so I guess I'm going to show you what these guys are supposed to look like. Yay! Hegemony of embarrassing. Just you can't say that. I love kids. Fantastic show. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so we're going to whip screen. Whip. Boom. Alright, this is it. So this is the WARCROW website. This is the model that we're going to be painting. So the Hegemony army is called the Black Legion, I think. And so this is one of the leaders. So this thing right here is a gun. I pull out my gun. So we're gonna stick pretty close to the what you would call like the cannon, I guess would be the right word. The cannon color scheme. We're gonna switch up the pants a little bit. I wanted to go like with a blue, but I absolutely adore the lined pants. It's like one of the coolest things. And then after that, it's going to be the way I do my, like, sort of non-metal metallic gold, like, for my 012, which if you guys have seen it all. I absolutely love that 5 o'clock shadow. As you guys know, I love doing 5 o'clock shadows, so that's going to be great. And I might do white on the cape. I'm not a big fan of, like, the brown cape thing, but it'll be pretty close. And so this is the stuff that came in the starter. It's not just going to let me click, are you? I don't think I can make that bigger. But anyway, this is the stuff that comes in the starter box. So you get this mage, you get the 1 unit, you get like a surgeon, like a medic, which is very much inspired by like the plague doctor mask type stuff. Unit leader, and then the unit. So 1, 2, 3, 4 models make up an infantry unit in this game. And the core box comes with these guys. And I think that's it for the humans. I believe that's it. Which is enough. But, with that said, we're going to get started. So, boom, we're going to paint this guy. We're going to do a little bit of pseudo, kind of, non-metal metallic. I'm not going to go full gold because I think that's kind of boring. So, first we got to do is paint a lot of black. I've been streaming for like 30 minutes and haven't actually started painting it on a hobby stream. I've only been yelled at by Tizzy twice. These are rookie numbers. I need you guys to let's go. It's sort of NMM. It's not full NMM. If you guys want if you guys want M&Ms, I could paint Lord Cooper because I was doing non-metal metallic iron for his arms and legs, because he's got metal feeties and leggies. I only did the black and then like the first layer. I didn't get a chance to finish it before I had to leave for karaoke today. I like M&Ms. I like M&Ms too. Look how itty bitty the paper. Don't comment about it, okay? I have the right colored sheets. I don't know where they are, okay? See, I have the sponge. I have the extra sponge. I just don't know where the papers are. I live a cluttered life, okay? I'm selling as much stuff as humanly possible. I sold a lot of stuff in the past couple days. It's been great. It's been marvelous. Marvelous. Alright, so we're just going to do some black base coating right now. We got a real butt brush. Just a piece of junk. But it still gets the job done. He's living his best life. So we're using Chimeric's Carbon Black. I really like this stuff as a base coat. It's more black than I've noticed in Abaddon. I've noticed that Abaddon Black leaves a lot to be desired, actually. It doesn't have very good coverage, I've noticed. You love Lego. Lego, let's go. Look how itty bitty. I like M&Ms. I'm dying. Don't die on the inside, Spidey. It's fine. We all have to deal with problems in our life, okay? If that's the thing you got to deal with, if that's the problem you got to deal with in life, I think you're doing okay. Are you selling stuff to come to NashCon? NashCon, Lego. Isn't it sold out? I wouldn't be able to get in if I wanted to. Which quite honestly, I don't want to go to NashCon. I have nothing to play, Rylan. People there don't want to play the same games as me. It's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's nobody's fault. And besides, I want to at least work at my new job for, I don't know, like 3-6 months before I tell everybody I'm leaving for a vacation. The only thing that will ever stop me doing whatever it is I am in my tracks is Adepticon. Adepticon's the one thing I tell my employers, like, I'm going to Adepticon. There's literally nothing you can do to stop me. And I've had to say that a couple times. Thankfully, the new job I don't think it's going to really matter, but it has definitely been something I have talked about. Oh, this isn't a cape. This is a jacket. Would a white jacket make sense? Guys, what color should the jacket be? The art has it as brown. I don't want to do brown. That's boring. Fake news. When do you start the new job? I start the new job 15th of next month. So, about 15 days. Jacket turquoise. Yellow jacket. Like the animal? He's not a yellow jacket, Wilmar. It's a human. Get a load of this guy. Doesn't know what a human is. Jeez. Sheesh. What a guy. What a guy, that Wilmar. Doesn't know what a human is. Straight jacket. I was gonna paint it white. It would have looked like a straight jacket. NashCon, BestCon. I haven't gone. There's nothing for me to play. I play a lot of games. I play a lot of mini games, and they don't play them there. Hey, new job. I'm going to a gathering of nerds playing with plastic models. Everyone painted themselves over the course of hours, curled over with tiny armed dome lamps and a size 000 brush. Gonna need time off to join them. Card games and board games. What card game do I still play? Tell me, Ronnie. What card game do I play? I quit all of them because they cost too much money. Like, I really wanted to love the El Favar card game, but it just didn't work out. Secret Hitler is a great game. Is that a card game, though? I guess it is. It's like a social game, isn't it? I wouldn't really call it a card game, per se. You're gonna have to throw this past the judge. Sorry, Grant. It's not up to me. You got to throw this past Wilmar. He's the arbitrator of it. Hey, Wilmar, is Secret Hitler a card game? There are cards. I agree, but that doesn't make it a card game. a pauper format for MTG. Bro, if I spent a single minute of my day playing Magic the Gathering, I would not have enough time to paint models. Just so you know, I got a Spidey. I don't know if you know this or not. I got a stream I gotta run. But what's the I'm not disagreeing with that comment. I'm saying, is it a card game or is it a game that happens to have cards in it? Champions, I actually enjoyed. I really enjoyed Champions. I really wanted to play the Arkham Horror version of the game too. Actually, he's really wet. Phrasing. You know what? I'm actually gonna paint Lord Cooper right now because I actually have to wait for him to dry. So there you go. You guys can't stop me. I did it. I deviated. We're not painting WARCROW at all. You guys are gonna watch me paint this guy. You suckers. Hijacking the stream so I can drink water. Alright. Wilmar has spoken. Secret Hitler is a card game. Here we are. Don't tell me what to do, Ron. You're not my dad. Champions is actually a legitimately really cool game. If you guys have not, if anybody here has not had a chance to actually try it, it's like actually legitimately really good. It's always a Malifaux stream. Always has been. Okay, so while that guy's drying, so I'm gonna use bright neutral gray. That's not bright neutral gray. Dylan. God. Bright neutral gray from Pro Acryl. Absolutely one of my favorites. I used pure black, and then I highlighted the first layer of it with Russ. Was this Russ gray? Fenris gray. Fenris gray. So this right here is Fenris gray on the metal parts. Now we're gonna use. You always stop painting before. I know, okay. I'm just really twitchy. And so, when you're doing this like non-metal metallic effect, you want to just make sure you're very, very deliberate with where you put the paint strokes. So I am definitely going to be going back in with a black at some point, and I'm going to start to refine where this color's down, but I really just want it to get some color so I can see where the light is coming from. So he's got like a little metal badge there on the front of his boot. And this leg also has like pants. So this is like a pants on the leg. I don't know what determines if he got that or not, but I thought all of his limbs were supposed to be metal, but on that leg he's wearing pants, I guess. And we're just kind of refining where we want the light. Now remember, because it's metal, you want those transition zones to be pretty stark. Like the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Got him. I made an MCP joke. Am I cool now? Can I come to NashCon now? Why did the mic change? Sounds like you're coming through your camera or something. Okay, let me see if I can fix it. Let me love you. Let me love you. Good night.
Love you.
Love me too. Love you too, Kara. Good night. How's that? How's that sound? Why did the mic change every time? You always stop paying for it. This was a Malifaux stream all along. So what you really got to make sure you're doing when you're doing this non-metal metallic stuff is you just have to really be aware of where you want this stuff to be pointing. And I think that when I did the first highlight, I went a little too aggressive on the first highlight. So I know I need to go in there with some pretty firm application of black paint so that I can remedy my mistake. I'll show you guys in a sec. Okay, so when you look at that leg, it looks like it's shiny, right? So as an example, this arm I haven't done yet, right? So that arm, you could definitely tell it has like some depth, but then as soon as you go here, it starts to like look like there's light because the color that it's going up to is so much brighter. And it might take a couple passes. And one of the keys to doing this to make it look right is there's a lot of just making sure that the brightest color is hitting the edges of it, because light really likes to bounce off of the sides, the corners, I guess you could say, of like a metallic object. See my purple shorts.
Hey, listen.
Hey. I checked my mic. Yeah, it says it's going through the right mic. Does it sound really bad? Let me just listen to it, I guess. Does it sound really bad? Let me just listen to it, I guess. It sounds fine. Does it sound really bad? Let me just listen to it, I guess. It sounds fine. You guys crazy. So when I'm doing this area, the first thing I do is I try and hit the edges, just to make it look nice and bright, because it looks like the light's hitting it. And then I just try and think of which way the light's coming, right? So that wrist area, brighter on that side, and then as you get to the other side, it starts getting really, really dark. And that's just the kind of effect you have to pull off. And so here's another good example, right? So that elbow joint, the light's going to be coming from this direction, just because it's the best angle for this area. And then you just kind of gently hit the edge of that thing. So you're not looking to get inside that joint, because that should be where the darkest part is, and it instantly starts to look like it's reflective. And we're going to go in there with some pure white. And of course, and again, we're going to refine this. Like the NMM, you just got to make sure that you're willing to go in there and clean up, because that's going to be one of the most important parts. He's still on the wet side. I promise we're going to paint WARCROW. I promise. So, Wilmar continues to bring OP masters against me. He can't be stopped. Brought Terra. Tim doesn't pull a Tim this week, I'll either hit a 70 stream if he doesn't pull a Tim this week. Yeah, I cannot confirm or deny if he's gonna pull a Tim. I know he likes to do that though. I'll either hit a 70 stream streak this week on Wednesday or Friday. Who'd have thought I could lurk on one stream for that long? Well, I mean, you watch a lot of wrestling, right? I mean, you kind of that's like you're lurking for that. It's not really necessarily a stream, but you know, it's the things you love. I got that for certain YouTubers. As soon as they put something out, I'm like, yeah, I'm on it. I'm on this. Like G-Man, I absolutely adore G-Man. G-Man is one of my favorite YouTubers. Or G-Man Lives or whatever his name is. I love Nano. I'll go long periods without watching Nano. What else do I really like? I love Totally Pointless TV. There's nothing that he puts out. As soon as he puts something out, I watch it, and it's usually like some hour to 2 hour long diatribe of like some video game I've never heard of. No More Heroes was the one exception. I had heard of that, but I mean, he'll start talking about a game. I'm like, I have literally never heard of this. It'd be something like Wilmar's heard of, where it's like some ancient Japanese game. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. And you guys know how Wilmar gets. Wrestling's gonna be so good this week. Is it? Is it the Wrestling Championship? Is that this weekend?
The big wrestling game.
Is that this week? I played Terra once this last game. We played. You tabled me and outscored me. Yeah, because your crew was OP. There's a PLE on Saturday. What does PLE mean? Paid live event? Is that what that is? Okay, bedtime. Don't stay up too late and make lots of happy accidents. I will attempt to make as many accidents as possible. I do have to donate bone marrow tomorrow, so if I stay up too late, yeah, okay, a premium live event. Sweet. Well, I hope you enjoy it. If you pop on tomorrow to have me playing in the background, as always, I appreciate it, and I hope you. But if not, I hope you really enjoy it. They're on They're on Peacock. I didn't know that. That's cool. I don't think I have Peacock. I played Terra once this last game. Well, I hope it's good, Brian. You deserve it. You hard working schmuck. Yeah. Alright, nice sharp brush. I've noticed that I'm more clumsy than ever. I am knocking over so many things these days. It's kind of crazy. Quick in the stream we start killing the streak. Alright, Spidey, you know we have to be nice. You know what that restraining order says. You can't do that. Alright, so now we're taking some pure white. I'm just using heavy titanium white from Pro Acryl. And we're just mostly sticking to the edges. And I am not particularly amazing at MMM. It's not my favorite thing, but I've definitely been doing it a lot more lately because it is a challenge. I guess. And I don't really mind doing it for my own models. It's when other people want me to do it for their stuff where I'm just like, ugh. And unfortunately, if you do it for one model in a game, in a lot of ways, it kind of pushes you to want to do it for all of them, because now all of a sudden it doesn't work. But I don't like painting metallics in general. It's not my favorite. As soon as we're done putting this white down, it looks like he'll be ready. What are you guys painting today? Anything fun? Like in a perfect world, that's what it would look like. You see how that non-metal metallic right there, where it's like got that like the black part in the center, really has like that high contrast. That's kind of what you really want it to always look like. This NMM is okay. It's all right. I'm not gonna win any awards with this. It's fine. I'm not hugely on it, you know. It just feels good knowing that you know that feeling you get right before you finish a model. Perfect. That's what we're feeling right now. Okay, I think he's ready. He looks ready. But yeah, he's coming together. I'm really happy with him. He'll be done probably tomorrow. We go into the game. Is that another stream? I thought I just saw somebody post something. We go into the game with the same energy and mentality we have at practice. I paint every model like I'm trying to win. Bro, let me tell you something. That's exhausting. Quite honestly. I got a lot of stuff to paint. That's a lot of stuff. I'm a pretty good painter. If I did the best I could with every single model, yeah, it'd be bad. It would end real bad. So here we go. We're gonna start by painting his skin. The only part of him that's skin, I believe, is his face. I guess I can double check if he's wearing gloves. He's definitely wearing gloves. So we're gonna use some shadow flesh from Vallejo. So it's Vallejo Panzerase. Shadows flesh. So I'm going with my darker skin tone base. Just because this guy is gonna be like a war vet. So this guy has seen a lot of stuff. He's seen where the sausage is made. Pretty mid painter, dropping the best I can barely, involves highlights and a lot of airbrush. Well, hey man, I mean that's pretty good. I mean I know a lot of people that when they paint their stuff they don't even really do highlights. So, I mean that's not bad. And the reason that we paint skin first is because it's exact reasons like this. So like this Gorget in front of his face would be a nightmare to paint around if you waited until the last second to do. And there you go, model's done. We did it. Put a pin in it. This is a finished model. No, just kidding. So we're gonna do a little bit of basic skin tone from Model Color Acrylic. Villaggio. The Vallejo. So the way this works is you get just an itty bitty little bit about of that paint, and we're gonna mix it with the shadow flesh to get the mid tone. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I would say venture more on the side of it being light than too dark, because if not, it can look kind of weird at the end. So you kind of want that color. And just don't forget, anytime you paint, a model will intrinsically look brighter than what it will look like when it dries. So a paint is always brighter when it's wet. So when we put this on here, if you think it's like, oh my god, it's so bright, don't worry. It should tone down. Oh, and I used Terry in my game against Wilmar last week. The Terry that we painted on the stream. He did okay. I got to figure out how to use him better. I don't think Cooper's is the answer for him. I think he's going to be really good with Jezda, because he can put down markers and stuff, which I think is really good. And if not really good, at least better than what Cooper was using him for. Cooper, the only real token they put down, other than like just kind of generic scheme tokeny stuff, is like pit markers, which I don't think I need a whole lot of, because he doesn't have a lot of like pushing. So you can like set up traps, but they're not necessarily gonna like do much. But again, I'm still kind of learning some of the moves. Okay, there we go. we're just going to use a little bit of the straight up basic skin tone. And when you're doing this, always make sure you get the nose. As you can see, it always really sticks out. I like to slowly work my way to the brow line. In this case, he has an eye patch in the way, so we're just going to kind of work around it, because we know that that eye patch is going to be painted brown or black. This model gives me a lot of Imperial Guard leadership vibes. It's got a very lead from the front kind of look to him. And when it comes to these guys, I suspect that painting the armor is going to be the part that takes the longest. Just because it's going to be all black. And he has a bit of a shaved head thing going on. So we just want to make sure we highlight that appropriately. I will be going back in there with a little bit of the skin color, and I'll probably give him like a little bit of a taper or a fade, which is not hard to do. It's actually shockingly easy. Like, I'm gonna do it, and you're gonna be legitimately like shocked. You're gonna be like, le gasp, sacre bleu. And there's a lot of people out there that really don't like painting skin, which I don't really get why. It's actually like pretty easy when you get it. So then there you go, right? He's starting to come alive. So then we're going to use a little bit of, was it flesh? Highlight flesh from Panzer Ace Vallejo. And this is going to come out with a really high saturated peachy type color. As you can see that right there. So as you can tell the difference, potentially. So this is shadow flesh. This is the mix between these two. This is basic flesh tone. And then this is the highlight. So we're going to take a little bit of the highlight. Use some basic skin tone. Now, the bad thing about the highlight is that if you just paint that straight on the model, it's going to look weird. He's going to look like he's got some kind of skin disease. And it's one of those situations where it won't look bad, it just won't look right. So again, top of the nose. We're just going to slowly work up. And again, if the guy looks a little baby faced to you, don't worry, we're going to fix that. It doesn't look like a whole lot right now, but once you start really playing with it, you'll notice that skin tones, or well, skin in general, it looks really cool if you start doing like fancier stuff to it. So like in this case, like a 5 o'clock shadow is a good example. It's like a cool little mod you can do. All right, so then we're gonna use a little pure white. I'm gonna mix it in with a little bit of that previous tone, and this is the one that we're gonna be super careful with. You just want to pick up the straight highest points. So in this case, top of the nose, ridge line closest to the light. In this case, I'm not even going to worry about his other eye, really, because of the eye patch. Top of his left cheek. And a little bit of his lips. And again, it doesn't really look like a whole lot right now. This is something that will eventually pop out once the stuff around it starts to get finished. I'm going to pick out a little bit of the back of his head going towards the light. So there you go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a dark red. So I'm gonna use a little pro acryl. I'm not gonna need a whole lot of this, so I'm just taking just the ittiest bittiest amount of it. Gonna water it down. Gonna give it a good watering down. This is definitely one of those things where if it's too strong, you will ruin a good paint job by making it look kind of weird. So we're just taking this like red. As you can see, it's very watered down. And we're going to hit the lowest points to help smooth some of those transitions, while also giving it a little bit of like a healthy, I don't know if glow would be the right word, but it kind of gives it like a little bit of a, oh, there's blood floating through this. I try and always put this in the eye hole area and against the side of the nose, just to give it a little bit more contrast. And then I try and get a little bit in between the lips, just to give it a little more depth. And if you feel like you put too much there, you can always go back with your paint, with your skin paint, and you can go over it. And these are super subtle. You probably would never even see this on a camera. This is one of those things, like I said, that really just starts to sing once the rest of the model is coming together. So the eyeball. One of the cool things about this model is he's only got one of them. So while that red is drying, because we are going to do some 5 o'clock shadow, just take a really sharp brush. Gently, but surely, get that eye in there. So we're going to let that dry. I'm going to go back in with some black. We're going to do his hair real quick. So in order to give it a little bit of a differentiation, the black I paint his hair is going to be a little different than the black on his armor. Usually I would just paint a lot of these things like the same kind of black, mostly for speed sake. But when it comes to Infinity and I guess WARCROW models now, because you don't have to paint an absolute ton of them, it's a great time to spend a little extra time, paint a little bit of those like details. Mouth was another really good example of that, where you don't have to paint like an entire army. So you can spend time doing little things like that. Alright, a little bit of a bleach bone. I would never use pure white. Pure white is for what crazy people look like. Nobody has a pure white eyeball. And really carefully just take that bleach bone, try and hit the middle of that black eye hole. And it's okay to not get it on the first try. This is one of those things where if you get the paint and it just doesn't want to stick, it's fine. Just walk away from it. Get more paint on the brush. Like, clean it, because you don't want to have like a buildup of like a bunch of paint that's like weirdly half dry. Just in time for you to ruin your model. So there you go. Now you got the eye. You can see that in there, that like cream where the eyeball is. Then you take, and what I do, you can do it with a brush too. I like to try and work smarter, not harder all the time. Doesn't always work out, but a 005. Yeah, excuse me. I'm really tired. 005 micron brush. You go in there and you give it just a little bit of a little boop. Boop. I want him to just be looking forward. But honestly, with this model, I can see him looking a lot of different directions. It's in there. You could probably see it. If not, you're going to have to believe me, because it's too small. But, boom! There you go. So then, just to do a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow, they went super hard on the 5 o'clock shadow. It's really, really dark. So what you could do in this case is you could do a much darker color. I usually go with something like this, like a bluish, I don't know what you call this, black per se, but just kind of like a blue-gray. That'll give you a bit more of like a lighter 5 o'clock shadow. But this guy's clearly, he's been smoking cigarettes since he was born, probably. So I'm going to use a little bit of blue-black. Because you don't want to go full black. Because if you go with a pure black, it's going to look really, it's just going to look off. Again, it's kind of hard to describe. So we're going to take a lot of water, take a little bit of the paint, really going to water this down. And so we're just going to go along the jaw line. And we're going to do our best to just make sure this stuff doesn't pool. Because as soon as it starts to pool, it will look super weird. And you want this to be subtle. So this is something that you're going to want to do in multiple passes. Because when you do, it makes it look a lot more realistic. And you get to pick where the shadow is. So even if you do this, you may not necessarily want it on his upper lip. But I'm going to try. If you want to do the upper lip, just try not to get it on the lips themselves, because hair does not grow on the lip. Sorry, I can't. Sorry, there's not going to be a lot of camera going on with this. This is kind of small work. Give it a little stipple. Just kind of poke it in there. And the more you do it, the thicker the 5 o'clock shadow is going to be. So every single time you do a dab, just a little bap of paint, he's going to look like he smoked another cigarette. Every time you do a little blap, it's going to be another explosion that this man has not looked at while he walked away. That's how you measure that kind of stuff. You start to notice how he's got like that 5 o'clock shadow thing going on. So like I said, theirs is super dark. super, super dark. So I'm actually going to try and do a little bit of pure black. And in this case, really try and be sparing with it. What if I go with my 2 thin coats black, then highlight or shade or whatever with Muscuo black? For what specifically? Are you talking about his face, or are you talking about just black in general? Because if you're talking about his face, it's almost kind of like you don't want to highlight it per se. You just want it to be so transparent that the highlights you put on the skin are going to poke through. That's kind of the dream. From Spidey Dude. Spidey Dude said that. Alright, so we're going to take some pure black. I'm going to take a super sharp brush, and I'm really going to water this down. This is not something you can play around with, because this could potentially ruin a lot of the hard work. So, again, just to kind of give you a I meant blacks in general. Yeah, that's fine. If you go with 2... I've never actually used the 2 thin coats paint line, so I can't say. Then highlight or shade or whatever. I love Muscuo black. The blackest black makes me uncomfortable in large spaces. Is that the paint that was like what am I trying to say? Copyrighted as like the blackest black or whatever, and there's like one specific person on the earth that's not allowed to buy it or something. Is it that black that you're talking about? If so, I've never actually used that. That's actually, I mean, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I mean, if you want to, a big issue that you'll have is that models, at least at the scale that we play them, it doesn't use light correctly. So like when we do highlights and stuff, we're representing transitions in color gradients that the human eye would never be able to actually detect at like if we were the same scale, if that makes sense. So that means that black might be like a little too extreme. Is it cool? Yes. I won't deny that it's cool. So, I mean, personally, I would just go with whatever. I would try it out, and if you really like the look of it, then I don't think anyone's allowed to tell you that you're not allowed to do it. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. What if I go with highlight or shade? Or whatever? So, I mean, you wouldn't be able to really highlight with Muscuo black. That would only be shade. I am definitely a layer painter in that I paint the dark color and then I work up from that. But if you're the kind of guy that likes to put the mid-tone and then go down and then up, or up and then down, I don't think you're wrong. It's just not the way I usually do it. So if I was you, I would put down Muscuo black or whatever and then paint on top of it. Whether it works like that, I couldn't tell you. So there you go. It's probably what I'm going to go with. It looks properly grizzled. I'm going to take a little bit of that skin tone. Just a little bit of the higher highlight one. And I'm going to try and get the lips back. And if you do this kind of glazingly, you can go over areas that you were hitting with your 5 o'clock shadow, and you can get it to look a little bit more transparent for the skin, in case there's certain areas you're like, ooh, I might have hit that a little too hard. And it helps with some of the edges that might be a little too hard, because you can soften them. Just a little glaze. So yeah. See if I can get better focus. Yeah, how's that look to you guys? Make the eye patch just so the paint job we just did is properly framed. Thank you, Spy Dude. There you go. Now I paint that eye patch. So you notice it starts to kind of stick out more. Focus. There you go. Clean up that inner mouth just a little bit. Looks like he's got a little bit of a bald spot there, so I'm going to just try and get that to cover up a little. This guy has literally never seen a razor in his entire life. And there you go. That's how you do that. It's very similar concept to the sides of the head when it comes to like a shaved head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the hair a slightly different black. I was considering airbrushing my Dormammu with Muscoa black, then hitting him with speckles and very light fire OSL so he looks all galaxy specific. See, that sounds awesome. That sounds like a really good idea. I might highlight the black a little bit, just in certain areas, but I would definitely keep it really dark. Maybe like blue black, like a Pro Cool blue black, or I don't. There probably is a highlight for 2 thin coats for black. I don't know what it is, but that would do just as good. And I would not do a lot of it. I would pick like maybe like just a specific spot, just some like really targeted highlights, and just be like boom, 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 right here. Let me give some highlights, and then I'd be happy with that. Okay, put this brush back. Alright, so how are we going to highlight the hair? So, we're going to go more gray. I usually never, ever highlight with gray. But there's going to be a lot of black on this model, so I need something to kind of distinguish this. So, we're going to, in a weird way, we're going to give him gray hair as opposed to black hair, just to kind of break it up. So, we're going to take a lot of the black right here, where you can see I'm mixing it. And I'm going to take a little bit of a base Mechanicum standard gray and just mix it in there until it starts to highlight. Like I said, I would almost never say you should highlight with a gray on a black, but as needs must in this case. It's not for the faint of heart. So, that beautiful head of hair of his. Now, when you're doing this, if it's a good model, you'll have a lot of good like hair definition, so there should be like strands of hair. When that happens, I like to take the paint and pull it towards the front of the face, because you want to try and pull the paint where you want it to be seen. So I just slowly start pulling it forward. And for this guy, we are actually going to paint that eye patch a different color. So don't worry about highlighting the eye patch. Now, for the back of the head, I would almost say make sure you leave some depth there, just to give it some contrast with the front of the head. And this won't take very long. Thankfully, he doesn't have a very big head of hair. Again, doesn't look a whole different. Yeah, it does not look a whole lot different to you guys. I'm gonna take a little bit of this bright neutral gray. Start mixing that in. Hair is usually kind of glossy, so we are gonna definitely end this on a white, and we're gonna try and get like the light, you know, that like you see it on models a lot where it's like where the light hits it, where it looks the most reflective, especially with like people with black hair, because it's usually painted with like a glossiness to it. So again, same concept. Just take the paint, try and pull it to the face, and try and stick to the strands of hair. If it's not perfect, that's fine. Because right now we're just kind of simulating depth. So I'm not done with it, but I just want to kind of represent. You see how it's starting to get brighter, and we're not going all the way back. And he's got a little bit of a part in his hair in the middle, which that's okay. And you can see in there the eye patch. It might be hard for you guys to see, but the eye patch is going through the hair, but it's definitely on top. So again, we're going to differentiate that. So I'm going to add a little bit more gray, bright neutral gray to this. It's almost completely pure bright natural gray. And now we're really going to stick close to the face here and just keep pulling that hair highlight to the face. He reminds me, the model reminds me a lot of Bernthal, the actor, the guy that played Punisher. He's kind of got that, he's got that face to him. So there you go. Starting to come together. Take a little bit of pure white, mix it in there. It's hard to see because of the light, but it's going to look like that. Really got to make sure a lot of the paint on your brush is off for this. So, this is one of the reasons why I really don't like highlighting with gray. Do you notice how like his hair isn't really black anymore? That's one of my big issues with gray. Is it kind of steals the main color away from it, and it looks like he's starting to have like just white hair. I don't it's like it's weird because if you do it with white, it makes it look black, vice versa. So we're gonna take some of that carbon black. And we're really going to like try and bring it back. So right now we've established a gradient. So we really want a glaze type consistency on this black. And we're just going to try and get in between the cracks of the hair and all that. To give the hair back some of its depth that we would have lost with the highlights. Got like one little strand of hair here that does not want to tone itself down. Okay, so I give it like kind of a little bit of a wash, I guess might be a good way to put it, with some just really watered down black paint. Starting to go back to black. little more like smoother on the gradient. I think it's still a little too bright for me personally. So I'm actually going to take a little black wash, a little Pro Curl black wash. Just going to take a little tiny bit of it. Not a lot. I'm not even going to show it to you. It's a black wash. If you don't know what a black wash is, you haven't been in the game long enough. Again, real thin down. And I'm just going to try and tone this stuff down. And my general rule of thumb is never paint the look of the model on where you are right now. So, like, when you're at a certain point in the model, a certain part of it, you're like, you finish it, and you're like, wow, the model still kind of looks like butt. Don't do anything about that, because you can't fully appreciate what's going on until the model's done. And like I said, I would never highlight black this way myself unless I really needed a way to differentiate it. But in this case I do, because the model is going to be like 90% black. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I better do something about that. So there you go. It's definitely looking better. Now what I'm going to do, while it's still a little bit wet, I'm going to take that higher end highlight color. And I'm just going to do real targeted highlight areas to make it look like that's where the sun might be, like, gleaming off of the head. And I'm going to stick mostly to the front. So you're like, I'm thinking to myself, like, the sun is coming down and kind of like bouncing off of that part of his hair because it looks really glossy. Because he shampoos and conditions. Good for him, you know. Who's to say that's the wrong thing to do? So then I'm gonna take a little bit. I'm gonna take one more white, add it right to the edge of that color. So this is almost pure white. It's got a little bit of gray in there, just to keep it honest. And we're gonna do a real targeted highlight here. So you don't want it right where it meets the scalp, but you want it where that glossy light bounce is going to happen. And you do not want it to be very big, and you want it to line up with your idea of where the sun is. Kind of like that. So now, when you look at the model, when he's done, it'll look a lot better when he's done, obviously. But you'll see that like light gleaming off his hair, but then you look at the back of his head, and it's like it's still almost, it's pretty pure black. So you got a bit of a gradient. So now, I'm going to do the same thing that I did for the face, right, with the 5 o'clock shadow. So you're kind of like doing the reverse of a 5 o'clock shadow. So like, kind of like what I have going on here. It's like this semi-see-through part of your hair, the fade or the taper, depending on what your barber likes to say. Again, really, really watered down blue-black, and I'm just going to lightly glaze up the area where the hair probably is. Don't let it pool, because if you let it pool, it's really going to ruin the effect, especially right now when everything is coming together. This is something that it's going to always be a good idea to do two glazes of it, as opposed to doing one glaze. That's way too heavy. So I'm definitely going to do another pass on it, but as you can see, it started to like kind of get a little grayish, especially there in the back. because the paint is so watered down that it's transparent, it's going to take the highlight that we did on the skin, which is going to make this significantly easier. Once you're pretty sure that it's semi-dried, remember you want to make sure that it's I say semi-dried. Make sure it's dry before you do this, because if you don't and you get like a weird coffee stain like pull thing, it's gonna make you really angry. I know it does for me. Just don't let it pool. As long as you don't do that, you're okay. And don't get it on the ear, because hair doesn't grow on the ear. I would say, Spidey dude, you should try what you were talking about earlier, and you should show me tomorrow. Because I want to see it. And every once in a while, you're just going to get these spots that do not want to hold paint. So, here we go. As you can see, starting to work it down. Do a real close up here. Taking you guys for a trip here, sorry. So there you go. As you can start to see, it's starting to like have like that fade look. I gotta work on the back just a tiny bit. I gotta make that look a little smoother, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. And it starts to look like a head of hair. What do you guys think of that? That actually looks like a face. Do a couple more little dabs here. And again, this is one of those spots where if it was a younger me, I would have just kept stabbing it with paint before it just dried, and I would have made a mess, and it would have looked bad, and I would have got mad. I would have got real mad. Thank you, Wilmer. So he has a little bit of like a scar on his face. We're actually going to paint a little scar there. Just to kind of help with a little variety. So scars are super easy to do. If you look at a scar, it really is just kind of like a darker version of whatever skin it is you have that will eventually fade. But that's not cool. So what you do is you actually take your base skin color. So in this case, it's going to be the shadowed flesh. That's usually the color I use for scars. Scars. You wonder how I got these scars? So you take the paint, get it real, take off all the excess on the brush. You want to make this is going to have to be really sharp. So just make sure you got it. And you just kind of line in a scar. And I like to do scars after facial hair, because facial hair usually doesn't grow on top of scars. Again, sorry if this isn't in the camera. It's not something that's really that interesting. It's literally just me drawing a line. Now, this is a very, very subtle effect. But it gets the job done. So, you see that? Just like a dark little skin patch. Now, if you're looking at it and you're like, I don't like that. What I would do is I would take a little bit of the basic skin tone. Again, I would, that's not basic skin tone, you dummy. I would really water it down. And I would just kind of glaze on top of it until it takes the hue that you really want. So, there. Really toned it down. Now it's like a little bit more subtle. So now, if somebody's looking at this model, he might see like that shit. He might see the disfigure. Not disfigure. He might notice the differentiation in color, but he won't necessarily. It won't like click in his head that it's a scar. It's one of those things where your brain is gonna see it and they're gonna be like, "Oh, that looks really cool," but it's not even really gonna know why. That's a good example of how that looks. So there you go. That's a face. That's how I would paint a face on a tiny little man. He's just a little man. There's not enough time for me to do a lot more than this. Because it's going to take forever. Yeah, Tizzy, what is it? What would you like, Tizzy? Hit me up. Come on, let's do it. Hit me. Is it kiss you? I can do that. You want to kiss? But I will start working on the pants. Because I don't want to start working on the armor. That's going to be like a tomorrow thing. Because that's going to take a long time. So we're going to work on the pants a little bit. I'm going to work on just painting it regular. If there's enough time and I don't feel exhausted, I'll start working on the lines. But right now. Can you go to the AMG site and see if you can see the assembly instructions for the spider? Can I see them? Okay, sure. Sure, buddy. I found the instructions for Green Goblin, Lizard, and Doc Ock. This is the affiliation pack is why. Yeah, I know what you mean. Can I see it? Yeah, I got it. I opened it up right now. Why? This is going to be him telling me to build these things or something like that. So can you use that to build these models for me? They won't open for you? Here. It just is never easy, is it? It just can never be easy. It just can't be easy. Here we go. Can I post it here? There you go. I just linked it in the chat. See if that works. Alright, I'm using WARCROW White Blue. for the white pants. Not too worried about getting paint on the... I would like to not get it on the armor. At least on the the trim is going to be yellow, so I don't really care about that. But if I get it on the boot garter, I don't really care because that's going to be like a brown. So that's okay. I guess I will have to go with a brown jacket. As much as I don't wanna. I don't wanna! You know what? Let's go dark blue. Let's do a dark blue jacket. Yeah, you're welcome, Tizzy. Old buddy, old pal. Yeah, let's do a dark blue jacket. That sounds cool. That sounds sick. So, the WARCROW universe is actually pretty cool. I talked to Hoopu, the ambassador for the game, on Arachne, if anybody's curious. And then Dakota, he started a podcast inspired by Arachne, actually. And it's a WARCROW podcast, and he also talked to Hoopu, and they compliment me in it, which I thought was very sweet of them. And they talk about the different races. And I am a bit of a weirdo when it comes to fantasy universes, because I'm actually the weird guy that wants to play just humans in the fantasy world. I apologize, I'm very, very thirsty. So I will probably be playing Ember Sig, which are these guys. I'll probably be playing Feudum, which are supposed to be like French knights and stuff that worship the moon. And I could probably be convinced to play the Scions, because they actually kind of look cool. I've kind of been doing like a weird, I like body horror stuff lately thing. Because like even with Malifaux, with Cadmus, a good chunk of that team, that keyword, is husks. And I think they are some of the cooler parts of Explorer Society. I just think it's kind of cool. I think it all started with Mr. Tusk. Can't lie. Love Mr. Tusk. After buying all new GW tools, I just found a bag from Adepticon. What is it? Bro, Tizzy, just to put it in perspective, I just got my very important gamer bag that I got from helping out at Adepticon and all that. I just got that yesterday. Yesterday. Crazy. Let's just say my house has a lot of hobby knives in it. Hobby knives and pliers. Just laying around everywhere because I put them somewhere and I lose them and then I just buy a new one. Tim had it. Because I gave Tim the bag to transport it because he was driving back from Adepticon. And he just held on to it. And then eventually at ACO, Brian picked it up. And then Brian gave it to me at the Infinity event at Midgard. Which is the store that he usually goes to. Which was very sweet of all of them for bringing it there. I just thought it was funny that it took that long to get it. Alright, I'm going to pick out that eye patch again. Because I want that to be pure black. And I, honestly, with the bag, I usually wouldn't care. But since I am money conscious right now, I'm like, ooh, there's some things in there I could probably sell that I could really get a lot of. I get some mileage out of, and some of it I actually want. I think some of it's actually kind of cool. So I'm gonna try and finish this model tomorrow. I don't think it'll take that. It won't be that hard, quite honestly. Which mini is that? This is the So a lot of the named characters are going to come with generic names as well. This is the Hetman, and the named version of him, I want to say it's what is his name? He's the Anvil. He's the Anvil of some city. I can't remember his name. Vulgar? Is that his name? Vulgar? Vulgar? Drago. His name's Yeah, Drago the Anvil. That's his name. He's like the military. He's like the fighter character leader for the humans. This is the elf mage. It's actually pretty cool looking. Got this like bird feather cloak thing going on. I'm gonna let you guys vote on which model gets painted next. Of North Bergen, New Jersey. That's him. I'm telling you, he looks like the guy that played. He looks like Bernthal, for the guy that played Punisher. Like, look at that face. Tell me it doesn't look like Bernthal. Tim is a jerk. That's true. I don't deny that. I can't deny it. It's impossible. You've seen the proof of it too much. And then, if you care, Swan, this is the fighter character for the orcs. They're very World of Warcraft inspired. Very, 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 very World of Warcraft. Hoopu is on the record of saying it as well. She's like, oh, they look a lot like World of Warcraft orcs. I really love that. So they're not like hiding that. So they really went for like big orc. And then this one looks like Gul'dan. This is like the shaman character. Wise Mane, I think his name is. So what I will do tomorrow is I'll probably do a poll to see which model you want me to paint next. I'll probably only paint the heroes. I might paint the units on my own, just to make sure it gets done. It's a demo kit. I will actually be doing my best to demo it. So if you're in the Massachusetts area or the northeastern United States and you want a demo, give me a heads up. I will do my best to facilitate. And I was just talking to the guys at Captain Con, and I'll probably be doing demos there as well. So I want my demo set to actually be really good looking. I asked Kara if it was okay if I painted the orcs because she's really interested in Northern Tribes, which is what the orc faction is. I see Tizzy ranting about something. I vote Ajax 2024. Make the hobby stream steal again. Listen, buddy, there's a new Ajax coming. He comes out like, I think, next month. I'll paint him. That's fine. Do you know how hard it is to find an old Ajax? That model is insanely difficult to find. I'll paint the new one. I don't care. It's fine with me. I'll never use them. You know what? I might sell them. I'll sell them or give them away on the stream. Like maybe we'll do like a bits raffle or something like that. He is. I'm 100% sure he's coming. I don't remember if he's either this month, next month, or the month after. He's definitely coming out in this like quarter. You know what? I'll check right now. Doing this live on stream. I'm sure everybody loves this. All 13 of you guys. Alright. Infinity News. Yeah, Ajax. July. Yeah, he comes out in July. Yeah, he's July. Swan confirmed. Oh, it's the same time as the Wrecker, too. Which... I gotta paint 2 of those stupid things. So there you go. Premium content. Yo, bro, you know it. Yeah, buddy, you know it. Here, I'll show you. I put my hair back and forth, I put my hair back and forth, I put my hair. Here he is. This is the new one. That's what he looks like, Tizzy. It's pretty good. I don't know why his eyes are red, but... And then the Wrecker. I'm going to be painting 2 of these. I could probably do one of them on the stream, but... I'm going to be running the very thematic double Wrecker, double Prime list at some point. I got to get another Prime. This guy is insane. The Wrecker is just absolutely disgusting. Invincible Army pack. I forget what this guy's name is. He's the hacker. This is the disgusting linkable sniper. I think this is the leader guy. That's a camo token. I don't know their names, but the IA, the Invincible Army action pack thing comes out, so IA is gonna be pretty playable. It's gonna be a lot easier to get the models anyway. This guy, Crit is crazy good. I love Crit. Crit Cock. And then a little bit more Hakkaslam stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I start a new job tomorrow, and I am up hate assembling spider people and watching you. Yeah, I heard about the new job is really cool. I think Tim was saying that it's in the same location. It's just a different job there. So the commute still kind of stinks, but I'm super happy for it. I heard you got a big pay increase. Give one a Burger King. Give one a Burger King crown. that'd be... Oh, that's such a good idea. What, you talking about the Wrecker? I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Someone is the Wrecker. I started a new job. That's hot. Yeah, I mean, do you want me to paint you one? Is that where this is going, or do you want me to just paint an Ajax? Yeah, the give him a Burger King crown. I know, dude. I know what you mean. The colors on it. Yeah, super. It's so good. All right, one more coat of this white. Just want to make sure it's nice and even. No, I want you to paint a I want you to paint a Wrecker with a Burger King crown. Best idea ever. Alright, so I'm gonna say this here, and I will vehemently deny it if you ever bring it up outside of the stream. For the longest time, I've thought about painting Sentinel for MCP. But since there's 3 of them, my dream was I was going to paint them like a little band. So the Sentinel Prime, I was going to do a heavy punk rock inspired Sentinel where he's holding onto a microphone. Probably like one of those old ones, you know, where it's like a, I don't know how to describe it, like, you know, that old retro style microphone stand head thing. And give them like little like metal Liberty spikes and stuff, and have them just be like ruined. And I was thinking of maybe green stuffing like a jean jacket on them, and go like full like Sex Pistols slash what's another Anthrax, like an Anthrax punk rock look for the Sentinel Prime, and then the other 2 be like band members. Like maybe one of them has like a guitar. I don't know what the other one would have. I guess maybe a bass guitar. I don't know why this idea came to me, but I was thinking of doing that. And that kind of like reoccurred to me today while I was driving. I was like, I think that would be a really cool idea. And I was thinking of doing that for the Worthy. But I don't want to put in all that work to not even get mentioned. So I kind of just don't want to do it. A Keto, that's a good idea. Keto's good. That's actually a really good idea. Clack Attack streams. That's a fantastic idea. I should write that down. That's a really good idea, actually. Thank you, Keytar. Keytar guy. Clack Attack streams, guys. Hero of the stream. I get him every now and then. Hell yeah, brother. I love that. Everybody bow. He has won the Disaster Zone Stream Award for the day. Alright, so we're going to take some blue and we're going to really heavily water this down. As you can see, his pants are very white. And we're just going to gently glaze in some shade to the white pants. Pantalones. Anyway, I don't know why that idea, I don't know why I wanted to bring that up, but whatever, something Tizzy said kind of reminded me of that. Because I don't know if I'm going to do the worthy again, because I'm kind of getting sick and tired of not getting at least bronze for putting in as much work as I do. But whatever, I don't know, that's not a big deal. I will literally start my own painting contest with blackjack and hookers. I really thought that my Mr. Sinister Emma Frost thing was going to get, I don't know, at least bronze. The Daredevil fighting the ninjas thing, I think he mentioned it when he was at the professional casual booth, but I think that might have just been because he knew who did it. Dallas, that is. Why is this paint coming off? I could paint better, that's true. But I don't want to. Unlike what most people think, I'm actually not a great painter. I just have, like, good ideas occasionally. I'm also of the frame of mind that if you spend that much time working on something and not even being able to like play it, I don't like doing that. Like if I paint something, I want to be able to use it. The old get good scrub, but I haven't heard the exact phrasing since pre-COVID X-Wing. Get good scrub. You're not wrong. Listen, I'm not sitting here looking for sympathy. I'm just saying it's like, I don't want to, it's like, of all the things I could do, I'm just like, whatever. I don't really care. I don't think I've ever actually won a painting contest. Like, I could have swore that my Infinity Alpha, with the dogs and the crime scene thing, I was like, this is it. I've done it. I've peaked. I've done it. I've won. There's no way I could lose this. And then it got beat by a Night Hospitaller, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm never going to actually ever win anything ever in my entire life. I did win Best Painted at Everwinter 2 years ago. That felt really good. And then I put a lot of work in to try and win it last year, and I did not win. And I was not happy. I got Best Painted. Well, when I say, like, let me move the goalpost. That's fair. I won Best Painted at, like, Midgard. And that was after, like, trying a billion times. And again, the one I did win at Adepticon, sort of, the Shatterpoint one, I'm not entirely sure that counts. Because, technically speaking, I didn't paint all of those models. It's called the worthy, not the slightly above average. I'm not saying it's bad. I just said I don't know if I'm the one that wants to put the effort in to win it. It's like it doesn't really mean anything to me. Listen, Tizzy, of all the people you know, I'm not the one that needs the I don't need the third thing, Tizzy. You know I don't. I'm just saying I'm weighing what I want to spend my time doing, and winning the worthy's not what I want to do. You tied that Bushido one. Sort of. Kinda. That's true. That did happen. And that was the one I was like, I didn't want to win. That was the one where if I pushed it, I could have won, but because I was winning for the longest time. The only reason that I didn't win that one was because I told more people to vote. I pulled in a bunch of people that weren't playing just to vote on Best Painted. That was the only reason I didn't win on that one. We're excellent at something, and we want to be as good as you one day for you. Like, listen, I'm not saying that I'm bad, but there are people that are significantly better than me. Like John. Like I get compared to John. I actually get compared to John Ho way more than I thought I would. Which, in a weird way, is kind of an honor, right? Because the guy wins like friggin' painting contests like no tomorrow. But what I'm saying is, you don't want to be like me. You want to be like one of them. You want to be more like their paint jobs, not mine. Like my stuff, I get the job done. Don't get me wrong, but I'm no Angel, you know. Angel Heraldez and Garcia. Like Garcia's crazy good. Besides, you shouldn't want to be like me, Tizzy. You should want to be like you. You just get better. Because everybody has their own style. My style is high contrast. Some people really dig, like, realistic. I used to be more realistic. And so I was... Well, I won't either. That's what I'm saying. I would like our skills to be comparable. Yeah, I don't think they're that far off. I don't think me and you are that far off. I think the big difference is that I have more time to put into it. No, that's not a lie. I think the big difference is that I spend 4 hours painting a model. You probably don't spend 4 hours. And that's the difference. If you sat down and like spent as much time I did on each color, I don't think you'd be that far behind me. If not already roughly compatible. I honestly believe that. Like, Wilmar is a great painter. Like, I think Wilmar does certain things better than me. Like, his non-metal metallic was, like, really good. 4 hours is enough time to knock out a whole... That's what I'm saying! It's not for me, though! And that's the difference. Is I think the only real difference between me and you is I just spend more time doing it. But I know that you don't get as much, like, personal enjoyment out of, like, painting it as I do. That's the difference. You see, but there are people like Jonah, right? Jonah's a local painter who beats me at painting stuff all the time. He just, like, gets it. Something about him... Me and him spend the kind of roughly the same amount of time painting models. But he knows color theory because he went to art school. And so his composition is just, like, so good. I've really forced the Eminem. Yeah, exactly. See, and that's kind of what I'm doing these days. Because I think that Wilmar was right. I think that's a great way to do it. Where if you want to improve your painting, you're going to have to, like, push it on some level. But, you know, the big difference, like, if I wanted to be better at painting, what I would have to do is do what a lot of those, like, big commission painters say, and I would have to literally make that my job. That's the difference, because they sit down, and they probably paint for, like, 12 hours a day. I mean, of course you're going to get better. It's like, Christ, you're doing that literally all day. Anyway, you tied that Bushido one. Don't hate. Don't hate, Tizzy. Just gonna lies. 4 hours is enough time. I will say my work rate isn't correct. Yeah, it's what I'm saying. Yeah, like you pop shit out like at some rate I cannot keep up with. I did get runner up the unplugged. Like, see, that's great. That's fucking awesome. My Green Goblin, I would like painting competitions better if they gave me fit. Yeah, you see, and my big issue with paint feedback at a lot of these contests is that they're really subjective. Where at the very first worthy, I forget his name. There was a guy there that submitted a Sentinel group, and then John Ho did the exact same thing. And the difference was one of their one of their bases. I think John Ho's was literally just like the Sentinels on like a black plinth that was like kind of roughly painted. It wasn't like anything fancy. And then the other guy, who I talked to for a while, he was a good guy. He did almost the exact same thing, except his had a car on the base, which was one of AMG's New York terrain cars. I'm sure Tizzy's probably literally seen like 6 billion of those things. He's probably seen enough of those tiny plastic ones from AMG that probably the same amount as real ones on the planet Earth. The amount of those things he's probably built. Anyway, but he put one on there, and then he asked, I want to say Dallas, and Dallas said, "Oh, you put the car on the base, which took attention away from the models, and that was the reason you lost." And then I think he asked like another judge, and the judge said like the opposite, where he said, "Oh, I think the car was like a really good touch, but the model should have been better painted," or something like that. And I was like, what can you do? Like, you can't, like, in my brain, in order for something you do to win a like painting contest like the Worthy, you have to hit certain, like, a benchmark of like skill where you're like, yeah, I painted either such an incredible model that you overpower the personal preferences of the people that are judging, or you just happen to paint the thing that the judges really like in regards to, like, Dallas loves Spider-Man. You're like, you paint like a really good Spider-Man. He's like, oh, I really like deep down in his head, he's not even thinking about it. He's like, oh, I really like this Spider-Man because I like Spider-Man and I don't like, like Red Skull or whatever as much. Not that that's true or whatever, but I'm just saying you have to like overpower their personal preferences in such a way that is so unreliable, because you're going to have a lot of other great painters. So it's kind of like it's like impossible to like really, it's like you can't tell if you're going to win. Like, you can do your best work, and you can think to yourself, and like other people can come and tell you, like, oh yeah, that's the best painted thing in the whole box. Like, I really like that. But it doesn't matter if the judges don't like personally think that that is the best paint job in the case, if that makes sense. You know? Does that make sense? I feel like I'm ranting, but I feel like I got my point across. And it's not their fault. I don't think they do it maliciously. I really don't. But it's, it's a contest judged by humans. It happens. Right, because they don't have a rubric but go up. Yeah, right, personal preferences, right. So, and then I've even painted stuff on a rubric, and I still lost because they didn't follow the goddamn rubric. So I remember I painted what did I paint? It was for a local painting contest at my local store, and it was a Dark Elf Hellion. And I thought the paint job was great. It was fine. And one of the rubrics was, does the model look like it's in motion? So I had like a smoke trail. Yeah, I think it makes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'm not mad at anybody or whatever. It's just kind of like a part of what you got to deal with. I did a Dark Elf Hellion who had like smoke streaks coming out, and he was like banking off of a piece of rubble. And it was probably one of the best things I'd ever painted by that point. And, I was still pretty young at the time. And another guy, he painted a War Machine figure that was literally just like standing there. The paint job was fine, obviously. And all he did was he painted runes on the base that kind of looked like they were glowing. And he won because of that. And I'm like, I've hit more of the rubrics. Why did I lose? I don't know. It's one of those things. I kind of stopped caring. There's a certain point where you just don't care anymore. It don't. As a great man once said, and Wilmar will know this, it don't matter. None of this matters. So, like, I promise I will submit something to the Worthy every year. But I think my days of taking the time to paint some big ornate thing for it is done. I don't think I'm doing that anymore. Because it takes way too long, it costs a lot of money, and then what do I have when I'm done? I have like a diorama thing that I can't do anything with. It just sits in my little display case that nobody looks at. I'm like, okay. Like I wasn't so upset about the Mr. Sinister thing because that's a playable model. I can use that in the game. Like that's not a huge deal. But it also cost me like I had to buy like 2 Emma boxes and a Mr. Sinister box. That's like $120 right there. It's not like I'm getting comped here by AMG. So I took all this time. I bought a UV resin kit to do the cool telekinesis-y type thing. I did all these things, and then I didn't get bronze, and my model sat in the DQ part of the booth for like 75% of the event. I'm like, I'm not mad, but it's like I don't want to put in that effort again. Like nobody's ever come up and said, "Oh wow, Dylan, you know, I heard about that thing you did that sat in the DQ booth of the AMG thing. It's so cool to finally meet you." It's like nobody's done that, and I don't have anybody over that come. And again, I just don't play Malifaux, or I don't play MCP anymore. And maybe if I did that again, it would be a character that actually gets played. Because unfortunately, Mr. Sinister, like you just don't play with Mr. Sinister. I will fund whatever you want to add for the worthy. I get to keep it. Okay. Well, but that was one of the reasons why I was bringing up this the Sentinel thing. I would actually keep that. But that's what I'm saying. If it's something I can keep and play with afterwards, I don't mind it so much. Because now all of a sudden it's like, okay, I put in all this effort, but I'm not going to lock it behind a glass window for hours on end. But I will keep that in mind, Tizzy. Actually, I will actually keep that in mind. If anything, Tizzy, quite honestly, I'd prefer that. Because that means I have less crap in my house. Yeah, and you're not wrong, Swan. It's the freehanding thing. I think freehanding's what got him the win, but whatever. Thankfully for the Daredevil box, Tim sent me some money for it, so I didn't have to pay for the whole thing, because what did that thing cost me? I had to buy a couple 3D kits, which thankfully weren't expensive. And then I had to buy the Daredevil box. I had to buy 2 Daredevil boxes, because I had to get the good Daredevil, and I had to get the evil one to get an Elektra and the ninjas. So that's like again, that was like another $120. On a different subject, did you paint the Inferno Squad for Shatterpoint? Inferno Squad? No. That's the Empire one. Inferno Squad is the video game one, right? The EA Battlefront team thing. No, the last things I'm painting are Ewok. Okay, so yeah, that's the no. I never painted those. They look like TIE fighter pilots, right? They're just like in black armor. They just look like black stormtroopers with the Shiva. Yeah. No, I have not painted that. Why? Do you think I could submit this model for the worthy? Bye, Wilmar. I'm not gonna be on much longer. I gotta pass out soon because I gotta do that blood donation thing. I'll see you probably Wednesday, buddy. I think we're Malifauing. If we're not Malphone, then I'll figure out something. I'm not even explaining what I'm doing anymore. I'm just talking. I'm just painting the pants white. Using a little bit of that pure heavy titanium white by WARCROW. Again, I hope I didn't sound whiny. That's not the thing I wanted to do. I was just kind of explaining my experience and just like how it's a smart idea to kind of like, in my opinion, establish a bit of like a boundary with like the effort you put into something. I had to personally reach a period of self growth where I was like, I don't need to win. I don't want to. I just don't want to be that into it. And my last holdout for that was definitely winning Everwinter last year. I was legitimately upset that I did not win that. Look at those pants. They're so white. Oh yeah. The Shiva. Alright, I think the last thing I'm going to do before I go to bed is I'm going to draw the lines in the blue. So this jacket's going to be the blue that I think is going to be my spot color. What are you looking at? Huh? Yeah, I see you. I'm just glad that reference didn't fall. It did not. The Shiva. Hello, Bubby. Okay, so thankfully, the lines for this are pretty chunky. So we can paint a pretty thick line going down these pants. I like that. Do you like that? I like that. I'm just glad that. Yeah, let's go to the reference. Why do you ask, Tizzy? Why do you ask if I have painted Inferno Squad? I will say, there's one Shatterpoint model that if it did come out, I will paint it. It is Cal Kestis. If they release a Cal Kestis box, I will 100% paint that. I will not need any convincing. I will paint that one immediately. So that box would be probably Cal. And I guess you could, and it could be either one. It could be Kid. It could be the first game or the second game. I wouldn't really mind. So it would be Cal, Um, I forget the name of the lady. I forget the name of most of them actually. The pilot guy and the Dathomirian. Darth Talon, that'd be another good one. Yeah, I don't blame you. Obviously, if they went anywhere near the Old Republic, I would actually consider playing the game just because I really really enjoy those models. But I don't think they can. Although that's kind of EA, isn't it? Isn't it's BioWare, right? BioWare owns EA. I don't know how the licensing for that works, actually. If there's a Darth Revan and a Darth like Malak and stuff. Yeah, Darth. No, I'm not talking. No, not Darth Talon. I'm talking about Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah, Darth Talon was definitely a comic book. I'm pretty sure that was Darth Talon. I'm just saying, like, I'm not sure where the legality of Darth Revan and Knights of the Old Republic is, because High Republic is coming out. That I know is like kind of up for grabs, because Disney's like doing something with that. Oh yeah, KOTOR. Yeah, I'd play the living bud out of that. Whoever's still here, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate you guys as always. I actually had to like keep track of how many subs and stuff I got for Tim, and when I actually like wrote it down and sent it to him, I was like, oh, there's a lot more you guys than I thought there were that wanted to help me out. So guys, you have no idea how much I appreciate that. Anything that you spend here does help me specifically. It does go directly to me. Tim is great. He doesn't actually take anything out of it, which I really appreciate from him, which is helping me get through this period of unemployment. Self-inflicted, of course. Just so I can buy my own business and achieve a dream that I've had for a very long time. Own my own clinic. Focus on ballet dancers and stuff. So I really appreciate anything you guys do to help with that. It's really cool that I had enough disposable extra money that I could get this box from CB, and I could start showing it off. I'm just really happy that that worked out. And part of that is because of you guys. Because of viewers like you. This is PBS. Here and lurky while doing a bit of my own painting and junk. Oh yeah, yeah, and of course I love lurkers, guys. You guys are great. Anybody that wants to hang out, heck yeah. I love talking paint and all that stuff. Talk philosophy, painting philosophy. I am here every Sunday. Let me rephrase that. I'm here most Sundays and every Monday. This Sunday was a little later than usual just because I got home a little late because I was at karaoke with the misses. Usually I start around 7 on Sundays, and I usually start around 7:30 on Monday. I don't think I've been late to a Monday stream yet. Doing the same while assembling some Malfa. Oh yeah, what did you buy any? You said you bought a couple more things, right? You bought some Outcasts one? Was that what it was? You bought some Frike Corpse, I think you said, because you were gonna buy Lazarus. Yeah, you got Von Schill. Yeah, Von Schill's awesome. I remember he had a card back in the day where he took his shirt off and it caused a fear check in everybody. just endlessly funny to me. Don't know if he still does that, but I hope he does.
From what I understand, though, he took off more than just his shirt because now he's a robot. Because he got, like, his butt kicked. By Nakima? Alright, guys, what do you think of that? I think it's coming together. Came in with the librarian. Oh, yeah, the librarian. Oh, man. I remember in the RPG you could become a member of the Fright Corps, but you had to pass 3 tests, which was, like, shoot a bottle off of a moving cart was one of them. Have a librarian whisper in your ear for, like, 3 minutes straight, and you're not allowed to cry. And the third one was you had to, like, cut off a finger or something like that. There was also the business where he accidentally unleashed an undead Fey Queen from her prison. Yeah, whoops. Whoopsie. Yeah, don't worry about Titania. She's not a problem. Don't worry about her. I forgot that was him. Listen, man, they're digging around in the dirt. Like, what do you expect to find? You're gonna find an ancient being locked in the dirt. They've done it multiple times now, because they're looking for a shiny rock or whatever. All right, guys, I think he's coming out really good. We'll focus mostly on the armor tomorrow. If I don't completely finish him, then I'll finish him on my own. But we will do a survey to see which one of the other heroes we will paint next week. So it can either be an orc, it can be an elf, or it can be a orc wizard. The polar bear I'm going to do on release day. I'm actually going to paint that on WARCROW, probably pre-order day, I guess. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll do, because it comes out on the 15th, which is a Thursday. I should probably paint that on release day. Yeah, that I'm going to actually paint on the 15th, but I'll be painting this stuff for most of the weekends, probably for about a month, give or take. And then I'll you know what? I'll paint Ajax next, okay? Tizzy, are you happy? I'll paint a friggin' Ajax. But keep that in mind for tomorrow. Overall, I think he came out pretty good. And then, hopefully tomorrow, in my free time, I'll be able to finish up Cooper. What do you think of that, Swan? Cooper the Hunter is coming for you. He's gonna shoot you in the butt. Got to do the base. Refine up the non-metal metallic a little bit. Paint up the skulls on his back and stuff. Get the hilt color, the hilt wrap. And then I think I want to say he's done. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not too bad if I say so myself. And then you know what? The thing that everybody's been painting for, or waiting for me to paint, Gwen Stacy. Who's been sitting here forever. Alright, guys. It's been a blast. I gotta pass out, because if I don't, I am gonna be beyond exhausted when they shove a giant, probably like 4-foot needle up my butt tomorrow. Not looking forward to it. But money's money right now. While I clean my brushes, is there anything anybody wants to talk about? And distract me from not actually going to bed. Are you coming to to Squabble and Goblin on Wednesday? Swan? It's not a probing. Okay, it's not a probing. They're sucking out bone marrow, okay? I'm hoping they're not I'm hoping they know where it is already, so they don't have to probe. That's my hope. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. If nothing else, I mean, you could play me or Wilmar. I mean, since you're still kind of learning, so it's like I think me or him are gonna be willing to like go out of our way to play with you. This is actually something else I've been thinking about, is maybe just playing Malifaux at the house on Wednesday, so you can just come over to my place, quite honestly. At some point, I would like to do a house invitational where we do like a little round robin tournament type thing, but it's just like it's only people I'm not worried are gonna take it too far because we're just gonna play at my house. I gotta buy a mat before we can do that. Oh, I just sold a bunch of stuff. I can convince myself to splurge and get a Malifaux mat because I need one so I can play it at home. I like Squabble and Goblin, but it's there's nothing that like makes you go there. There's like what am I trying to say? Like the people that we play there with are the people that we would play with anywhere anyway. So it's kind of like there's no point to go there. Got a buddy who might be down for that too. He's buying into Arcanists. Oh, that's excellent. Do you know which master? Out of curiosity. Arcanists are fun. I'll never play them because I don't like fighting for workers' rights. That's not what I like to do. I'm too capitalistic. Oh, Raspy. Oh god. Oh god. Raspy's good. They just buffed her big time, and she's good. She's real good. That I forget the name. It's the model that switches in between from like a scary deer monster and like a person. Apparently that model be busted. So we'll see. We will see. Yeah, that's exciting though. So that'll make me, Wilmar, Kara plays a little bit. She probably wouldn't be down for like 3 rounds or anything. You and your friend. And then I think Wilmar has a friend that he plays with consistently. So like maybe one of these weekends we have a little like a house invitational. Just so we know it's all like relatively new people. I'm probably gonna buy that mat right after this. While I'm drinking my sleep drink. I keep meaning to order the stupid thing, but the thing is, you might be able to help me 3D print some terrain too, right, Swan? We can like get a couple themed boards going on. I was thinking of making like a frontier town. And if I can, I used to have like actual Malifaux City where there were like tiles that you could wrap together, or like not wrap, but you could like slide them together. I love those. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dude, just start printing like Frontier Town buildings and I'll take them. I'm actually making my we'll print twice as much because I'll buy it off of you. Either now or later. I love Frontier Towns. That's one of my favorite things ever. Yeah, I'll buy a mat right after this, actually. I've sold a lot of stuff. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad splurging. Alright, guys. Well, I guess that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me. I love you guys. Swan. I love you, Swan. Absolutely. I'll also have to order a Ajax, I guess, for Tizzy. So, good for me. Every time we play Swan, I absolutely have a blast. I feel bad because I feel like every time we played, I have a streak of good luck that I'm not used to having. And then I bonk you pretty good, but I always have a good laugh out of it. You're always absolutely fun. Also, did you see this? Oh, of course you can't see it because I turned the stupid thing off. There's an Arachne token set. The token holders that Nuds make. I don't want to spill all the things out. But his things. Yeah, one last thing. Patreon. I'm going to do a Patreon drawing is going to be the only way to get these. So if you're a patron, every half year or every couple months or whatever, I will do a drawing. And somebody will win it, and I'll ship it out to them. I would love it if it was local, because then I wouldn't have to ship it. I could just drive to your house. Just drop it off. It's super cool. I used it for the event. Absolutely super easy to use. It was great. Absolute blast. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I can yap on about. I'm to stall from going to bed. So, guys, absolutely love you. Have a nice night. I'll see you tomorrow. It's 1 o'clock. I'll see you later today as we finish up this WARCROW model. Peace.
To play Magneto. Tim has been wanting this for a long time.
Now you got it back.
You place him within one of the nuclear missile.
Place him within one of the nuclear missile.
Which he
The nuclear missile.
Nuclear. Missile.
Right. He is in one of it, but not within the one that I want to be within it. Fucking long arm Dawn here.
You want help there?
Nope, I don't need it.
That was good. It was nice to see some cool play for Miss Marvel. I feel like people that really know how to play Miss Marvel get so much out of her with the transform and reach and then moving back. Like, she can get a lot of movement without using move actions.
Correct.
Which is really cool.
Yep.
Seeing a Hulk throw a Hulk into somebody else.
The Hulk off that happened actually was really kind of, it's something that we have seen. My dad told my wife that never happened, and I felt so gaslit. So thank you. Can you please text her and tell her that was a real thing? Tell her to come on this stream.